Good morning and welcome to Getting Rich. I'm your host, Rich Checkan, president of Asset Strategies International, and today is Wednesday, May 11th, 2022. This week, we're coming to you live from the floor of the Moneyshow at the Event Center at Bally's in Las Vegas. And I've got a special guest with me who I think is really fitting to be on Getting Rich. It's Kevin Rich. He's a consultant with the Perth Mint, our good friends at the Perth Mint, as you all know, for many years. And Kevin, I just want to ask you, in this environment, with the stocks pulling back, with metals pulling back, with basically everything pulling back except the U.S. dollar index, what do you make of it all? What's your take on things right now?
Well, I think the markets are very uncertain, and what we're hearing from investors is that they're uncertain as well. And they ask me, why didn't gold go up today, or why didn't silver go up today or this week? And we're
why
seeing
is it not doing its job?
Exactly,
Yeah.
And I think those are valid questions because you want it to react. But if you step back and look at what gold has done during the Russia-Ukrainian invasion, what happened in the early days of the pandemic. Gold and silver have been there, very supportive for your portfolios. If you go back the last 50 years, and we don't have time to talk about all that, but gold has just been a great stalwart of your portfolio and a great diversifying asset to have.
Yeah, there's some talk right now that it's not just interest rate talk that's bringing gold prices down, that there might be something else involved. But first, let's talk about interest rates. I think it's a fallacy out there. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. In the past 4 interest rate increase cycles, has gold fallen? Has it been negative for gold?
Your gut would tell you it should be going down because gold doesn't offer yield, but the contrary is true. Actually, gold has risen during times once the rate hikes start, kick in, if you will.
Yeah, understood. The other thing out there, aside from that, though, is the fact that the stock market has been pulling back pretty steadily for a couple weeks now. Actually longer, but I mean intensely within the past couple of weeks. And there's some talk that there might be a liquidity crunch, and that might be leading to some of the sell-off in gold and silver. What's your take on that?
No, absolutely. If you have a portfolio where you've got some of your equities margin and you're getting those margin calls, you look at what's your most value. Sometimes what has hung in there that you want to sell, and so there's definitely some gold and silver selling to meet margin calls. We think about that.
Gotcha. Now I think gold is holding up pretty well. Let's take a look at the prices from last week. This week, gold is at $1,853.70 as we wake up this morning in beautiful Las Vegas. That's down 0.9%, a little less than 1% from the $1,869.70 of last week. Silver down 3.6%, a little more volatile. You would expect that. It's at $21.86 this morning versus $22.67 last week. Platinum, your lone winner in the precious metals complex this past week. It's up 1.7% to $1,004 an ounce from $987 last week. And palladium down significantly, about 10% to $2,116 this week versus $23.50 last week. As a result of silver dipping further than gold, you would expect the gold-silver ratio has gone up from 82.80 last week to this week 85.18. Again, anything over 80 is kind of a screaming buy for both gold and silver as a price indicator. And then we've got the dollar index kind of holding steady. It's been higher, it's been lower, but last week it was 103.41. This week it's 103.57. Any parting thoughts in this current market? With everything going on and all this craziness, what's your best words of advice for people?
Well, I think
you can't give advice, but
not advice. But that last point you put on dollar strength, and I just write that up to everything else is so weak that the dollar is like the least of the bad currencies in the world.
Good point. Now I will tell you that in my opinion, these markets exactly are why gold was developed in the first place. Okay, this is gold's time. We've got great opportunities with the dip below $1,900 an ounce to take advantage, to buy well. As always, we want you guys to go ahead and subscribe to us, like us on the YouTube channel, subscribe to all our social media at Asset Strategies International, our newsletter, our alert service. Send us your comments and questions so we can read them on the air and share them with your fellow listeners. And please, whatever you do, don't ever forget that getting rich starts with keeping what's yours.